Hello everyone and welcome to this pick a card video today. This pick a card video is going to be how to find love. So each pile has 5 cards in it and it is going to guide and help you to kind of fix and sort areas of your life that are stopping you finding love. So here we have pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3 and pile number 4. You can pick your pile now if you would like, the one that you're most drawn to, or I'm going to stick some crystals on in just a sec. When you're ready, you can go down to the description box and there will be timestamps for each pile. Okay, let's put some crystals on. So the first crystal is a clear quartz point. Then moonstone for pile 2, some selenite for pile 3, and finally some jade for pile 4. And as I said before, this is going to be a kind of how to find love for this month. Now, if you do what comes up in the cards, I'm not saying like the next day. If you do what the cards are kind of telling you to say that you're going to find love, it's just a guidance. So yeah, just be aware of that. You're not literally going to meet someone the next day, and it's not going to work the next day. It's a guidance for something for you to work on over time. Okay, so we've got our piles now with our crystals on, and let's start with pile number 1. Okay, so this is our pile for number 1. As you can see, there's 5 cards that make up this how to find love spread. We'll go through the cards and explain what they mean as well. So as for the first card is the Ace of Cups in the middle here. And this represents key issues that are affecting your current love life. So any issues that are affecting your current love life. So this card has quite a good meaning actually when it comes to love and relationships. It's about new beginnings, something exciting, meeting new people, but I feel like this may be where the problem is. So this card can indicate that love and romance could possibly be around the corner, but you're not in the position to find it. You may not go out and kind of socialise much, so you're not anywhere near being able to meet somebody. So I think that's what you need to start doing. You need to go out and kind of socialise a little bit more. If you see in this particular Ace of Cups, there's quite, I won't say a lot, but there's a few images on here. There's a few characters on here, the fish, and then these little kind of mermaids that are out, they're socialising, they're with other people, they're talking, they're communicating. And I think, if you're not in a position, to do that, then you're not really going to meet someone. So you need to start going out a little bit more, socialising, going out, try going to new places, trying to meet new people, go with friends, go with your sister, cousin, aunt, whatever. But the more you start going out and socialising, I think the more you're going to see that it was the right thing to do. You're going to get more confident with this as well. The more you go out, the more you socialise and can kind of communicate and be around other people a bit more and meet them and talk to them. And when you go out, people do that to you as well. When you're minding your own business and people come up to you and talk to you and socialise, and it makes you do it. So it makes you better at it and it makes you more confident as well. So, and the more confident you get, the more it kind of oozes out of you, and the more that's going to attract other people as well. They're going to see it. When people in bars or clubs or restaurants or wherever see people that ooze confidence, they are attracted to them, it attracts them, it gets their attention. So, but you need to start doing this. You need to start going out and socialising a little bit more. Stop being a bit of a loner. I mean, loads of us like a little home comforts. They like being in the house and just doing their own thing, but you're not going to meet anyone being in the house doing your own thing. So you need to start coming out of your shell a little bit more as well. Go out, socialise and gain that confidence. So we're going to move on to card number 2, which is the High Priestess. And this represents behavioural patterns. So the same behavioural patterns are going to come from the first card as well. They're not going out, being in the house all the time, saying no. If someone says, oh, do you want to come out here? Do you want to go do this, do that? Your answer is pretty much always no, no, no. Also as well with the High Priestess sometimes is there is a problem with being bored easily. So this may also be you. I think you might get a little bit too comfortable with a partner sometimes. It gets a bit samey quite quickly, and even though you're quite comfortable doing the same thing in your house when you're on your own, with a partner I think you're expecting something else. So I think that you may, like the High Priestess, get bored easily. It may not actually be with the partner, but it may be with the way, like I said, the relationship goes. It might get stagnant quite quickly, stale quite quickly, boring, kind of, you both end up kind of never going out and doing anything together. So like the High Priestess, you might like to be stimulated a little bit more, like things to be happening quite a lot when you're with a partner. I suppose I guess that you want your relationship, you want your life to change when you're in a relationship. So when you're single and on your own, you quite like being in the house, you're to yourself, not really cared about going out too much. But when you're with a partner, you kind of expect that to change. So when it doesn't, it's a little bit frustrating, gets quite boring, and it's not great. Also, I think with this card as well, in the High Priestess, you could be a bit of a daydreamer, which sometimes I think can be a little dangerous, because I think you get this idea of the life you want in your mind that you don't have, or a life that you want that doesn't come. So, you know, that can be a bit frustrating, and I think that may have happened in the past relationships, and to move forward and stop those same things happening, you need to stop the bad habits when you get into these relationships. Again, with the daydreaming, just let the relationship go where it goes. You don't need to have this idea of what it's going to be like, because all of them are different. Okay, so it's not a great way to start in a relationship to have these kind of ideas and daydreams about what it's going to be like and what you want it to be like. Because of these same cycles that go round and around and around, it seems like every relationship ends up the same, and you probably think that you're attracting, you might think that you're attracting the same kind of guys. You know, you're having bad luck there, it's not working out, but it's because of the things you are doing as well. When you keep doing the same things and you keep thinking the same things about relationships and partners and stuff like that, they're just going to come back to you. So it's going to kind of attract the same things back. So unless things change, then things are kind of going to stay the same. So I think if you change up these few habits, then I think you notice quite quickly what the universe sends back to you, and it's going to be different. Okay. Card number 3 at the top here is the Four of Pentacles, which represents areas that you need to grow. So clearly with this card, you can see straight away that you are holding on to something that you won't let go. Okay, so this card is about things that, you know, you're holding on to and not letting go. This could be the past, it could be an ex, it could be memories of old relationships, it could be anything to do with on the lines of that. relationships, partners, exes, feelings, the same thoughts. So in order to move on and move forward and meet someone, we need to start letting go. And obviously that can be hard, especially if it has been, say, a bad experience in the past with relationships. If the trust has been broken or, you know, something like that, it's very hard to let go of those feelings and move on. But you're going to need to start in some little way. Whatever it is you're holding on to, I can't say for sure. It could just literally be thoughts. It could just be feelings. Or it could be memories. You need to start letting go of them a little bit. A little bit at a time goes a long way, but you need to start doing that. Obviously, not if it is the kind of bad past relationships, not everyone is going to treat you the same way. Not everyone's the same. So try and think of that as well. But to grow and to move forward, you really need to learn to let go of what has this little bit of a hold over you. Nothing bad is going to happen if you start to let go. You know, only good things can happen after that. And baby steps turn out to be big steps as well. So, but just remember, you know, letting go of bad things or bad feelings or thoughts or just not very good ones is only a good thing, and only good things can come from that. So, but it could be anything. You need to kind of work out what it is, because you might not be sure straight away when I've said that. You might be like, well, I'm not thinking about an ex, and I'm not doing this, I'm not thinking that, and I've not had a bad relationship. But it is something. There is something there that's just reserving you back a little bit from kind of letting go and kind of going forward with your life and your feelings and trying to meet someone. So just have a little think about what it is. But everything that you're holding on to, it needs to be let go for you to be able to move on peacefully and then find love and be in, you know, a happy kind of loving relationship. On to card number 4, which is here at the bottom, and it is the Lovers card. So this is areas that you need to change. So this is very romantic and loving, beautiful card actually. And as it's areas you need to change, what I feel from this is though you want love too much. Kind of always wanting and wishing to be in a relationship or to find love, or you love, you love that feeling of falling for someone as well. Sometimes it's not love, sometimes it's just lust, we just don't know it at the time. But I get that you really love that feeling, you like the rush of it, the rush of love. But you don't need to rush or, you know, force it. It will happen when it happens. I think the more you push and force something or someone you want, the more you push it away. Because you're saying that you need someone, you've not got it, you want it, you're emphasizing the fact that you want something that you haven't got. So putting that out into the world and into the universe so much, it's just only going to bring the same thing back. So you're still going to need it, you're still going to want it, because it's still not coming. So that needs to change. So just remember not to be doing that, not to kind of be forcing the one and saying, I've never found the one, I've not got the one, and because that's just going to keep getting sent back to you, and you're going to kind of end up in this circle and this cycle all the time, and it's not going to work out very good. So you need to change up the want or the need. I mean, it's okay to want things, obviously, but without thinking and kind of feeling and saying it out to the universe all the time, you're not going to keep getting the same things back. You need to kind of be free and kind of let go a little bit, let things flow. Stop trying so hard and let things go and happen the way they're supposed to. And then things will probably start happening more quickly and more than, like, a lot of unexpected things are going to start happening, and then you're going to realise, oh, I wish I'd have done that sooner. Okay? Card number 5 is over here, and it's things that you need to liberate. So it is the Sun, which is gorgeous. So you need to, again, going back to the first card, you need to be a bit more carefree and fun. You need to let go a little bit, stop being uptight a little and be a bit more free. Smiling, as silly as it sounds, smile and let the light shine out of you. I mean, that sounds very corny, but it is true. The more you shine, the more people are going to notice you. They will see you radiate and look happy. When someone's smiling and looks happy, even if it's not natural, you mean, if you're not actually feeling that way, pretend you are. You know, pretend you're an actress or an actor for the day and just pretend you are, and then it will start happening and you'll actually feel that way. And people are going to notice you looking radiant and happy and bright, and they're going to be attracted to you straight away with that. Don't think too much about it. Stop overthinking and just be a bit more free and open and try and enjoy life a little bit more. And again, like I say, if you don't really feel like it, just pretend, just smile. Like if you're feeling down, I've actually done it a few times myself. When you're feeling down and a bit grumpy and you just smile, it actually makes you feel a little bit better and you look a little bit better. So yeah, I think you also need to express a bit more warmth towards people as well. Stop being a bit cold. If someone's trying to kind of come up to you and talk to you and socialise, I think you may be a bit cold sometimes, and that's going to send people away. That's not going to be great. So you need to be a bit more open, a bit more, not that you're not friendly, but just not be as panicked when someone maybe comes up to you and starts talking to you. Be a bit more warm and a bit more open. And that way people are going to be a bit more drawn to you also. If you see the card, it's so bright and has this kind of free feeling about it. And that makes me happy and feel higher just looking at it. It makes me, oh, it's just beautiful. It's really, really lovely. It's actually a lot more yellow in real life than it is on the camera, but it's stunning. And if you radiate that energy from you, then people are going to feel that way about you. The way I feel about this card, and you may feel about looking at that card, people are going to feel that way about you if you start radiating like the card. So that was pile number 1. I hope that resonated with you in some way and you took some lessons from it that you might be able to kind of, learn from and change a little bit. And yeah, if you enjoyed this reading, then please let me know, and I will see you all again in the next video. Okay, so this is for pile number 2, and pile number 2 is made up of 5 cards, the same as the rest, and we'll go through each one and explain which each one means as we go along. The first card is this one, and it is the King of Cups, and that is to represent any key issues that are affecting your love life right now. So, King of Cups, this is a water energy, as you can probably tell with the amount of water that's in the card, and the signs are ruled by water. This card are Cancer, Pisces and Scorpio. And I feel from this card and what it represents is that you may be too emotionally involved in the early stages of relationships. Obviously it's good to show emotions and be emotionally involved. That is what people genuinely want. But I think in the early stages of relationships, you tend to maybe be a bit too forward, expressing love and feelings a bit too soon, and that can be a bit too much for people sometimes and kind of scare them off a little bit. So I think that, a lot of people like to take things slow, especially when it comes to emotions and expressing emotions, especially early on. People like to take things slow and get to know one another first and go on dates and do all of that. And they kind of save the smushy feelings for a little bit later. But I think with this card is so overflowing with emotion and feelings. It's like overwhelming. It's quite a little bit too much. I don't think this is a huge problem. This is not like the worst thing that could be wrong with someone in their relationship at all. So I don't think it's a huge problem that's affecting your love life, but I definitely think that it's there. It's that and it needs to be brought down just a little bit. It's a little bit too much. It's a bit too emotional. It's a bit too overwhelming for other people. It's a bit too overflowy. It's a bit too overflowing, and yeah, I think it needs to be reeled in a little bit. So there's a little bit of an issue there. Card number 2 is the Ace of Pentacles, and this card is to represent behavioural patterns. So the same patterns continues in all the relationships that you've been in, and the cycle just goes round and round. And these are the issues that we've just covered pretty much in the first card. So if you're doing the same thing and acting the same way and being the same way and over emotional and feeling kind of pouring your heart out a bit too much early on in every single relationship, then the same things is going to keep happening, and the same things has kept happening in the past. So these patterns will need to be broken in order for you to be able to move on and get what you want. The more you learn the lessons to hold back a little bit sometimes and take things slow, maybe let other people take charge of the emotions of the relationship and feelings of the relationship first. But the more you do that and the more you learn to do that, the more you're going to actually get what you want. You need to be slow and steady. Slow and steady wins the race, as they say. And you will have more of a chance to get what you want in the long run if you do it, if you do this, if you kind of break these habits and cycles. You might not be able to see the changes straight away. I mean, no one ever really does, or see them working, but little steps to kind of break the little habits and break the little cycles. And if you feel like the urge to express undying love and huge amounts of feelings and emotions for someone, and you just hold it back a little, that's it's going to work for you. It's going to work in the long run. It's going to be better for you, later. Okay, so you may not be able to see changes as well, but other people are going to, or they're not going to notice because you're meeting them for the first time, but they are going to be there. They are going to come. They're going to show. Okay, so card number 3 is at the top here, and it's lovely, beautiful card, and it is the 2 of Cups. And this card represents the areas you need to grow. Okay, so it's another Cups card again, which is, emotions and feelings. So yeah, there's a lot of emotional flow that's continuing to show in the next card. Controlling the emotions again that is going into the relationship is the pattern from each card here. Really, it's pretty much the same, and it is telling you what you need to know to work on it and fix it. Growing your emotions to the relationship you are in a slower and natural way. So when you're in a relationship, obviously over time you share feelings and emotions, but doing them in a slower, kind of more natural way, things come naturally, is going to be better. When two people in love come together and things flow naturally, things blossom so beautifully and progress at a normal, kind of slow, calm, natural pace. So I feel like it's not telling you to grow more emotions as you already can kind of have and contain so much. It's telling you to use them in a better way. So let them flow over time and not all at once, where it's going to be overwhelming for your partner. A coming together is supposed to be a beautiful thing. This card is beautiful. There's a natural coming together. It's natural. It's lovely. It's a union. It's a bond being merged together. And it's natural. That's the way that it needs to be. It's the way that it's supposed to be in order for your relationships to work. That's what's going to work for them. So let's move on to card number 4, which is the Page of Wands. And this represents areas you need to change. So I think with this card indicates growth. So there may be room to grow with the information that you need to grow for your future relationship. So the information that you're taking from this reading, these cards, is going to give you room to grow. Page indicates kind of a young energy that may not sometimes actually know too much about what they're in, and in this case it's relationships we're talking about. So it could be not having a full idea of kind of how relationships work or how they're supposed to work, or actually learning about what other people want in their relationship as well, and what they may want from you, and if you can be that person or not, especially, you know, in long-term ones. So learning those skills from other people as well. So I think for people around you, so like if it's parents, or if it's grandparents, or if it's just an older couple that live down the road, learning relationship skills from watching other relationships can really help as well. Kind of asking the questions, why have they been together so long? How have they made it work for so long? Kind of those kind of questions. And kind of see what their answers are. Why have they been together? What makes it worse? Not worse, what makes it work? But people change. I mean, even after years, people change. And sometimes, not that you need to change with them, but people do just progress and change in relationships. And I think if you stay in the same mindset, in the same kind of space and place, you're not going to be moving along with them. So you need to be a bit more wise, observe what people want from the relationship from you. Obviously, I'm not telling you you need to change for people at all. People should be with you because they want to be with you the way you are. But people do have certain traits. We all have certain traits in relationships that do not help us in the relationship we are in. So I think they're the little things, little minor things that I think we can change in order for other things to change, to gain and get the things that we want. So card number 5 is this one, and it is the Queen of Pentacles. So we've got 2 Cups cards and 2 Pentacle cards as well. And this card represents areas to liberate. So you trust yourself and your confidence straight off the bat. You need to stop thinking and worrying about things so much, like overthinking, especially from this reading. I don't want people to go away from it kind of overthinking about maybe all the issues they have. These are just small little guidance readings, and they're general readings as well for everyone. So it's not a one-on-one, it's a general reading for everyone. So take what you feel you need to take from each reading. But just trust yourself, trust your confidence, stop overthinking and worrying about things. Do not worry too much about this, what I've been telling you. Just kind of go with the flow. Think about what you might want to change from this reading, what you think, oh yeah, that's me, I'll, work on that. But just don't overthink it, don't worry about things too much. What's around you is good and is looking really bright. There is, I feel with this card, a little bit of a standoff energy sometimes. That just needs to be broken. Kind of let people in, let yourself go a little bit more, be a bit more free. You're in the position to know what you want. what kind of relationship you want, and you have the patience to wait for it as well. Even if you have little relationships here and there, you're quite willing to wait for as long as it takes for that right person to come along. So keep going with the patience, knowing what you want. Don't change what you want and the desires. You know, they're going to come. They are going to come to you. The energy of success is in this card as well, and it's really, really strong, so that's a great sign. And when you keep doing what you're doing, the only way is going to be your end goal. That's the only way that's the only path to take, is to lead to the end goal that you want and the success in what you want. So I think when you do meet the right person, and I think they are going to be very similar to you. I think you're going to know quite quickly if this is the right person or not. They're going to be quite similar to you. I think they're going to have similar qualities to you, and they're going to want similar things as well, which is going to help greatly with any relationship. So as long as the relationship is strong and you feel like it's the right person, you've got this really strong connection, this bond is going to grow so easily and flourish, and it's going to be beautiful, and it's going to be a bit of a kind of happy ever after story. I think this is kind of a bit like a movie, in the sense that this person struggles kind of through their life and their relationships that are a bit over emotional, kind of over, I don't want to say over the top, but just overflowing with emotions and the need for relationships. But when they kind of sit back, learn and change a little bit and progress in this nice, calm, slow way, the end is so beautiful. It's like the end of a film when they get together and it's happy ever after. So that's what I see here. There is a lot of success with this card. It's very bright, and I mean, it's not literally bright. It's blue, it's quite dark, but it's a bright energy card. It's nice. So this was pile number 2. I hope this resonated with you some way. Take what you want and what you can from it. And if you enjoyed this reading, then please let me know and give the video a thumbs up. And I will see you all in the next video. Okay, so this is pile number 3. And as the rest of the cards, a pile that's made up of 5 cards. And I will go through each card and explain what it represents as we go along. But we're going to start with the first card, which is this one, and it is the Hierophant card. And this represents any key issues that are affecting your current love life. So, in this particular deck, to me, the Hierophant looks really grumpy, super, super grumpy. He's set in his ways and doesn't really like to change. He's kind of very much stuck doing the same thing, has been doing the same thing for years. He's looking the same and he's been thinking the same for such a long time that he's just stuck and set completely in his ways. He also likes tradition and all things to act traditionally, and I think this could be you and your problem, as this is the first card. So you could like things a certain way, which is a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing, as it means you're not accepting of change. So if you meet someone and start a relationship, you're very traditional and so set in your ways that if other people want to change things up a bit or do things differently in a relationship, you don't like it and you can't really handle it. And that's a shame, because that relationship could have went somewhere, but it actually ended quite quickly, and they will end quite quickly if this continues, when there's no real need for it. Obviously, when you meet someone, they're not trying to change you, and I'm not saying you need to change for people at all, but when you're that stuck in your ways I think you need to be open to a little bit of change, a little bit of difference in your relationship, and you know, to you and your partner sometimes. It seems like you can't really compromise at all. You come across really grumpy, and it's kind of your way or no way, really. But if you look, I mean, you're super grumpy, but he's got this beautiful blossomed yellow you know, tree above him, this beautiful area. So there's room to grow, there's room to kind of blossom into something else, into something different. And I think that's one of the issues that stems from this card, is the grumpiness, the set in the ways, does not like change. Yeah, so let's move on to card number 2, which is the 5 of Cups, which represents behavioural patterns. So, okay, so the pattern I think that follows throughout your life, through your love life, with this card is heartbreak, sadness, heartache, regret also, and this is probably because of the issues that come up in the first card. It's a repetitive cycle that just keeps going round and round and round, and that's not good, you know, and you're not going to get anywhere else keeping being this way. You know, if you're so stuck in your ways and a bit grumpy in relationships, and then people leave, it's sad, there's a loss, it's heartbreaking, it's not very good, and there's a lot of that in this card. So I think your relationships are not going to work. It's going to be too much effort for other people to make a relationship work when you're still this stuck in your ways, kind of a bit grumpy and a bit, I don't know, just stuck in your ways is what keeps popping up. So I think some self-reflection is needed. This is in the card. Time on your own to figure out what you actually want, how you're going to get it, and what things you may need to change to pursue what you want and who you're trying to attract in your dreams and your desires for your life. So it's like realising what areas need to be kind of sorted out and fixed a little bit, and then working on them. And that is going to go, you know, that's going to go a long way. So yeah, I think that's what's needed. That's what's happening. That's the patterns that I see here. The same exact thing happening in each relationship, and there's things need to change in order to break the habits, break the bad habits and the cycles. Pretty rough idea. So you need to start cutting away the things that don't work for you, for yourself and your relationships. Once you start doing that, wait and see how beautiful things start coming your way. The more you cut away, the more you will learn, and you know, about yourself, about the things you want, the things you don't want, relationships, and it's going to grow. You're going to grow as a person, and it's going to make things so much better for yourself and relationships to come. So it's about kind of cutting away the things that you don't need, that don't serve you, and watching how things grow and change. It's going to be beautiful. This is a stunning card. There's a lot of beauty in it, and it's just lovely. So that's what you need to do. That is the basic of that card. It's pretty much as simple as that. If you want to grow as a person and for your relationships, you need to cut away the bad habits. It's just as simple as that. So card number 4 is the Strength card, and this is things you need to change. So I think you need the strength to help you grow as a person. Change the things that need changing to help you. So the strength and courage is there. You just need to find it and use it. So it's similar to the third card. They're both very connected with growing and changing, and both taking not similar steps because they're different cards and different messages, but it's you need to grow and change in order to progress. So yes, I feel like you rely too much on your partner for support in a relationship. I think you rely too much on them being the worker in the relationship, the person that tries to make the relationship work when it's not going very well, sticks at it, and that's just not very fair, is it? So relationships work two ways, and you need to stop doing that if that is what you're doing. You need to help make a relationship work also. It's not just down to the other person, it's down to both. So to make a relationship work, you both need to put the time and effort in to make it work, not just one person, because it's going to be one-sided. It needs to be both. So you're supposed to be with someone to improve your life, not make it difficult or too hard for one another. That's not a great relationship. So you need to start to just change your ideas up about the relationship, how you are in relationships, for them to start working. Just change things up a bit, be a little bit different. If you're in a relationship and it's heading one way and you're used to it going another way, just let it go this way, see where it goes. It's all fun, it's all interesting, it's great. You need to grow and change up your ideas and how you are in a relationship for them to start working. So, and obviously this stuff takes time. It's not like you're going to completely change in the next relationship that comes up or the next partner. However, little steps to change your future relationships are going to go a long way, and it's going to all help in the long run. So let's finish card number 5, which is the 3 of Pentacles, and this is for areas you need to liberate. So I think you need to learn to get to know your partners a little better and learn about the relationship you start and get involved with. Obviously everyone's different, and every relationship is different as well. So I think you need to start learning about your partner, learning about the relationship that starts, and growing together. Be a strength to your partner, learn about each other, share as much as you can, and be honest. Honesty is so important in a relationship, and I think it's even more important, at the beginning of a relationship, because a lot of people pretend they're something they're not to please their new partner, or they make it act like they both have so much in common and they love the same things when actually they don't. But that works just as well if you actually don't like the same things and you may be not as compatible as what you think. Opposites attract. So honesty is the best policy. Being yourself while trying to stop and change the things that seem to damage or break your relationship. Trusting one another and trusting yourself can make a relationship work. Learning to be that good support as well. In this image, you see the woman first, well I do, and then after I see the man down here is supporting her, is holding her up, is supporting her. They're being a really lovely support for each other, and I think that's lovely. That's the things that you need to work on in your upcoming relationships. Learning to be that good support for that person. And a relationship's two-sided as well. Just remember that it's not one-sided, and I think you could have a long, successful relationship if put all the things that have come up in these cards into practice, I think you could have a very successful, long relationship. So that was pile number 3. I hope that resonated with you. Take what you can and what you want from this pile, and let me know what you think, and I will see you all again in the next video. Okay, so this is pile number 4. This pile, like the others, have got 5 cards in them, and I will explain what each card means as we go along. So card number 1 is this one in the middle, which is the star, and this represents key issues that may be in your current love life. So this is actually quite a nice card to get in love and relationship readings. It usually means that the future is looking good and bright, and good things are coming. But I think that the issues that could be here may be that you keep going for different types of people that can come up in this card. So you're not your usual type, and that's not working out, but you keep trying and it's still not working. I think that also with this card comes far too much hope sometimes, that you're thinking about relationships. Sometimes relationships, they're not meant to last forever. You're meant to be in a relationship, say, for however long. Take what you need to learn from it and move on, and apply what you've learned from that relationship into the next relationship. But I also think that sometimes you meet someone, you like them, but they're not quite 100% what you want. So you're trying to change them to suit you, to what you want, and you shouldn't do that. That's not what we should be doing. You should be with someone because you love them for who they are, the same as they should be with you because they love you for who you are. So, if that person's not the right one for you, then you should just move on and find the right person that is right for you, instead of trying to, change someone up to suit what you want and what you're looking for. You meet someone, they're not quite right for you, you just move on to the next person who may be the one, may be the right one for you. Let's move on to card number 2, which is about behavioural patterns. So the patterns that we have and we create in our life and our kind of love relationships, and it is the Hermit. So with this card, so I see in this card that you've probably been lonely quite a lot. I think between any relationships you've had, there has been quite a long break between the next relationship. So you've been on your own for quite a while, and obviously, lots and lots of people like their own company, but I think after a while for you, you don't like it. You start not to like it, and you crave company, other people, affection, love. You start craving that relationship, and I think that's why when you meet someone, going back to the first card, you just hold on to them, and if they're not what you want, you just try and change them to what you do want, because you don't want to be on your own anymore. But that's not good for you. It's not good for them. It's not good for you, and it just doesn't work, and you just end up back where you were before, back at the start, back where you were before, and the cycle and the pattern just keeps repeating itself without any sort of changing this behaviour. This is just going to continue to keep happening throughout your relationships in life. There needs to be a point when you break the pattern, you break the cycle, so it stops. The same things just stop happening. It needs to stop. If we move on to card number 3 and see if this gives us any insight. This is areas that you need to grow. So, Two of Pentacles is what it is, if I didn't say. And this is telling me that you need to spend some time on your own and not contemplating and wallowing in things that you don't have and what you want, but to then work on yourself. Learn not to just settle for something that you don't actually want, or someone that you don't actually really want. Learn to follow your heart for what you do actually want. And I think spending some time on your own could be used to your advantage to work on yourself. Realize you can be by yourself and learn to enjoy it. Otherwise, not much is going to change in terms of your relationships and the way you think and feel about them while you're in them, and also when you're not in them. But the Two of Pentacles is not a great card. It's quite a negative card. And I think there's a lot of negative feelings within you, but learning to change up those emotions and feelings and thoughts and gain an equal balance of love, relationships and being on your own is going to work better. Creating that balance of knowing what you want and finding it instead of trying to change it, and compromising relationships and grow and change together is going to work a lot better than what you have been doing. So card number 4 is a similar card. This is areas you need to change, and it is the 7 of Swords. Straight away off the bat with this card, I instantly get the feeling of you are against a battle quite a lot, and I think that's with yourself. As we were saying before, being in a relationship and trying to change somebody to what you want, you don't want to be on your own. I feel like there's a constant fight, battle, kind of struggle, it's not a bad energy, but it's a darkened energy. It's not great. So again, needing to change the view on yourself, what you're worth, and the view you have of others and other relationships you get involved in. They're not all rosy. They're not all going to work out, because some of them are not supposed to. You're supposed to, in the relationships they're not supposed to work out. They're not going to work because you're not with the right one and you're just settling. And that's where you need to realise this, or learn to realise this, at the start of your relationship or before you get in the relationship. When we meet someone, we usually get an idea of if we want to be with them, can we be with them, are they right for us, that kind of thing. I think take what you can and what you'll learn from yourself and your past relationships to put into your future relationships, if that makes sense. So in your past relationships that haven't worked, you take what you have learned out of those relationships and what you've learned about yourself while in those relationships, and you put them to use in the next relationship and your future relationships to make them work better. Do you know what I mean? If that makes sense. I think you need to just wait as well. Have a bit of patience for the good relationships to come, the right person to come along. Wait and have patience, and things are going to flow towards you more easily. The more you push things to come to you, the more you force them to come to you, the more you're actually going to push them away, because you're emphasizing and telling, you know, the world, the universe, that you don't have this, you don't have something that you want, you've not got it, and you want it, and it's actually not going to come that way. So you need to have a bit more patience and let things flow a little bit more, and things will start coming a lot easier. Be kinder on yourself, your worth in relationships, and just wait, have some patience. You may not like to be on your own, but it's going to be beneficial for you if you use it the right way. Okay, so card number 5 is this one, and it is our last card, and it's the 8 of Cups, and it's areas that you need to liberate. To be honest with this card, we're just going back to the same cards as before, the same the same reasons behind it, really. The card sometimes is about just letting the past be, moving on from relationships, moving on from the past, an ex, and just letting things be. As much as that can be hard, kind of leaving the past behind and just letting things go and starting afresh, that is what needs to happen sometimes. To move on, literally to move on and start a complete fresh, things need to be left alone and in the past. So without kind of thinking too much about the past and relying on it to help your future, you need to start afresh. This whole reading's about kind of starting afresh. What can you change and what can you do to help you find love, a complete fresh start? And again, it's all also saying that relationships are not as important as you think. Loads of people want in a relationship, you know, they want to have that lifelong companion, which is great, but it's not as important as what you think. It's not something that you need to find right now. It's not something that needs to be done right now. It's not that important. It might be for the future. That might be your long-term goal. You want a partner, a family, the house, the works, everything. And I think those things will come if you put everything into place from these cards. But it's just telling you it's not that important right now. Just work on yourself, focus on yourself, the things that you're doing in your life that may need your attention, other than just focusing on a partner and relationships and love. You need to, as it's areas you need to liberate, it's yourself, it's your mind, your thought, realizing that relationships are not the end all and be all. Yes, it might be your goal for the future, but it's just saying to you, it's not as important as what you think right now. Don't feel like it is, because it's not. Work on yourself, think about your own mind, what you want and how you feel about things, and from there things are going to work out the way they're supposed to work out from there. Okay, so this was pile number 4. I hope that you can take something away from this reading and it resonated with you in some way. If you enjoyed this reading, then please give the video a thumbs up, and I will see you all again in my next pick a card video.